Okay, so we're talking about the election right now. Of course, things are still ongoing. President Trump has created his team has created a lot of legal issues, and it sounds like as of today, the Secretary of Georgia is going to go ahead and go through a hand recount of all the votes. So good and bad about this. Of course, every vote in the United States should count, right? I mean, we all are entitled to our votes. The big question is what sort of happened throughout the process. And I think just for the country to sort of heal and proceed forward, I think this hand counting would be a good thing. I think what Trump is trying to do is take legal actions on Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona, and actually trying to delay the process so he can actually do some other actions that will get him elected, is what he's trying to do. Not saying that those will actually be overturned, but how those legal actions go to the very end. And there's some research I'm doing on how this would look at the end. But it sounds like the House delegates would then vote whoever the next president is. So I think the Democrats have to pay some specific attention to this, especially the media. I think the media is, of course, being very partial on things. And I think that they need to do is open up and take a look at these possibilities. Because if it does happen, what does this look like? So I wrote down a couple notes. One of the irregular, oh gosh, I can't even say it. Help me out there, Kylie.
Irregular.
Yeah, that's the word. Anyways, okay, so thank you, Kylie. In Michigan, there was at one point in time that they said that 6,000 votes through the computer system was generated wrong, and then that was out of all those counties, out of 47 counties. That system was used through those 47 counties, and then it comes to find out that 23 states use that same program. So now it's creating a lot of questions for people on what's going to happen with these votes. Was there a computer problem? Was there not? Right? I don't see why the Democrats would be upset about their transparency. I mean, I think we all need to understand where these votes are coming from, how they're counted, and then we all can move on, right? I think that's really important for everyone else. Trump has a huge uphill legal battle. The likelihood of him winning this is incredibly small. So I think at the end of the day, of course, I think Kamala and Biden will be at the end of the day for us. How long would it take to hand count all these votes? I have no idea, but they sound like they're going to take weeks. I think what they'll do is they sort them, and then what they do is they run it through the system, but they have people watching it. The other question is, should Democrats challenge the states that Trump won? Should they actually ask for some recounts on some of the close races? And honestly, they probably should. It looks like most of these legal battles are going based on election codes, state by state. Each state has their own election codes, so everyone has to follow what those codes are. This is not a national thing, and they should actually maybe come up with more of a national mandate where everyone does the same thing over and over again. They all have the same things, but it sounds like it's up to the states as how the current code is written. One of the things that you'll continuously hear on the news is where's the hard evidence? Where's the Trump team's hard evidence? I don't know where that's at. I think it would be really wise on anything when you make a claim, create some hard evidence. I know there's over 11,000 sworn affidavits that have been signed already on claiming of fraud. So these people are willing to get themselves, and if they perjure themselves, go to jail, which is pretty shocking. It's sort of interesting how the news, though, is capping all these news stories. And why are they capping the news stories? Are they just trying to get everything back to normal, or are they pushing their narrative? There was a clear bias, of course, between all the different news stations for Trump or against Trump, right? And it really shows how the major media sources control our knowledge, control just basic, just the community as a whole, just as a nation, is shocking on how much data comes out of them and how they can drive the narrative throughout the United States. It's a little sad, actually, really. Back in the Bush-Gore timeline when they had that lawsuit, Gore's biggest thing was talking about how that every vote counts equally. And there were some reports that in Pennsylvania that in the Democratic areas, they were coaching people on how to change votes or do the things the right way so their votes were counted, but that was not being done in Republican counties. I don't know if that's the case, but that's one of the things they're doing. Many of the cases that the Trump team and has brought up has been thrown out. Many of their cases have. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of these things sort of go. How many states does Trump need to overturn to win? Which would probably be Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona. And I think that's going to be his main focuses, even though he did that lawsuit with Michigan. So he's trying a little everywhere to do that. Oh, did you see that the Texas Lieutenant Governor issued up to a $1 million reward at a minimum of $25,000 if you whistleblow on some on voter fraud, and it turns into a conviction. So it's just not you whistleblow and nothing happens, but it actually turns into a conviction where someone gets arrested and gets jail time. They're issuing up to $25,000 at minimum, up to $1 million in that money. Fox News lately, it seems like they cut off the press secretary recently with her claims. I think Fox News is really trying to find out what direction to go with and how to play this out. But this is going to be an interesting few weeks. Clearly, when the media calls it or the AP calls it, that doesn't mean that, of course, that's the true facts. We have to wait for all these votes and all these guys to, collectively, finalize everything. And then, of course, that's going to happen soon. Now, Trump's play is to create these lawsuits where then it goes to the next group of people. And if that's the case, then he has a path to win, or if votes get counted. I don't think he'll find enough votes. I think there's too many votes to count. But if you look at the betting odds on, what's it called? There's a website. You have betting odds of him still winning. If you gave them 17 cents on a bet, you would make $1. And so there's actually quite a few people still thinking that he has a shot.